How do I get rid of this nice guy mentality? You've already done the first step. You recognized that behavior in you. The next step would be noticing when it actually happens, and trying not to lash out in that situation. I think trying to understand why you do it is always a good place to start. I have no particular expertise on this subject, but I have been the recipient of this kind of thing from guys before, and so have a few thoughts on the matter. First and foremost, it's important to acknowledge that these feelings actually have nothing to do with the woman you're having them about. She's like a blank screen you're projecting all sorts of stuff onto. And who she actually is almost irrelevant. It's more like casting an actress to play a role than it is developing feelings for someone. The role exists in your mind, and the woman just seems like she could probably play it. You don't even actually have to get to know her at all, because all the activity is occurring inside your own brain. And that, actually, is another major part of it too. I think it's a way of avoiding actually having to get to know someone. Actually having to be vulnerable to someone. You're not getting to know them, and you're also not letting them get to know you. It's very safe in that way. When she inevitably rejects you, because nobody wants to be a character in someone else's movie, you feel hurt, but it's nowhere near the pain of actually losing someone you allowed yourself to be vulnerable with. This allows nice guys to get all worked up about how women are evil, rather than actually looking inward and having to reflect on your role in things. It's both self-centered and avoidant. A one-man show that gives you the illusion of putting yourself out there and taking risks, without actually doing that. Keep in mind, you can go so far in the opposite direction that you end up worse off. The key to not being a nice guy, or annoying, alpha bro, is to not care either way. Imagine the best version of yourself, or someone you like. Imitate it until it becomes you. Read, exercise, become someone worth a damn. If you ever try to be alpha, or even use the word, just know that you aren't. I bring this up because Reddit is a dangerous path to dark holes you don't want to go. Being self-aware is like 80% of not being a nice guy. The other 20% is being aware of how other people might feel about things. There was a cinema therapy episode on YouTube. One of the guys is an actual therapist, and I believe it was one of the Twilight movies they talked about, Nice Guy Syndrome. I believe it was the title and thumbnail to make it easier to find. Wow. Did not expect to get this many replies. Thank you everyone who's dedicated some time to this measly post. I haven't read all the replies, but I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and everyone who's sincere in their reply. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Truly. Edit. Bedtime. I'll check back tomorrow while on break. I'm not sure how to answer your question, but I have to say congrats on the self-awareness. You're already better than most nice guys. Like JF couldn't be serious. I've been the recipient of that sort of thing. And the biggest theme running through all of those situations was that these guys never once saw the real me, or even tried to. They didn't ask me anything about myself, or view me as a real person. And because they didn't know anything about me, they invented their perfect version of me, and only saw that, and then later got very angry when they found out I've got flaws, or that my plans did not involve dating them. Basically, they got angry when their fantasy version of me was shattered. So my advice is to remember that women are just people, and to try and get to know them as people, the same way you make friends with other men. Also, it's unclear if this applies to you, but I'm going to chuck it in anyway because I think it's important for men's health. If you view any women you're friends with as potential partners, or if you think the friend zone is a thing, Work on building emotional friendships with your male friends. Let me explain. Women are generally socialized to have friendships that are emotional and supportive. Men are sometimes socialized to view women, particularly partners, as emotional support, and male friends don't tend to provide emotional support. The old man up and have a beer kind of attitude. Because of the different ways these men and most women view and approach friendship. When they become friends with each other, the women automatically provide emotional support, and the men automatically view that as a potential relationship, and start developing feelings. And then the friend zone is born. This whole thing is harmful to men, because they're only getting their emotional support from their girlfriend, which contributes to shorter life expectancy, higher rates of depression and suicide, increased anger issues, poorer health outcomes, and a bunch of other stuff, and really irritating for women. Whereas, if men form healthy emotional bonds with other men, the same way women do with other women, everyone benefits hugely. One of my favorite YouTube channels talks about this using Megamind. Might be worth a watch? Something to keep in mind is that everyone makes good points sometimes, and that agreeing with a person or a group of people is inevitable. What's more important is the overall themes and messages that that group communicates. Being an ugly, broke virgin sucks, and someone not liking you back is rough, are some of the core tenets of the nice guys, and they absolutely true. The problem starts when those ostensibly rational beliefs manifest themselves in entitled and emotionally immature people. Do like you are. The very fact that you made this post shows that you have the ability to challenge your own thoughts. Look at things from the most disadvantaged position they might be from. Question yourself. It doesn't have to be negative. Think of things from other people's perspective. First things first. Stop lashing out. There's never a reason for you to try to impose your anger, hurt or embarrassment on someone else. Not ever. Apart from being harmful to others, it's harmful to you because it anchors you to rejection and disappointment instead of allowing you to pursue your true goals. Secondly, discard the notion that romantic attachments, or any other external recognition, are a path to validation. Do things which you want to do for you, and for the greater good. Commit yourself to achieving something of value and you'll validate yourself. Finally, work on getting to know everyone you meet as the unique, important, independent people that they are. They're not NPCs or characters in a book. They don't exist to serve your preconceived idea of their role in your life. Drop that preconception and work to understand them. You do those 3 things and your whole life will improve. None of that is about dating, but all of it applies to dating. If you want to shed your nice guy impulses, just be nice to people. Be genuinely kind and do things for the good of others. Ask yourself, if I do this, is it going to make the world better or worse? And do the thing which makes the world better. Not because you think it's going to get you something, but because genuinely good people do the thing which makes the world better because it's the right thing to do. The way I have always viewed the nice guy mentality, as you put it, is that it is fundamentally a lack of empathy. Empathy isn't really a skill that you can be taught. It is just something you need to be able to pick up for yourself. You need to be able to understand that other people are not objects, and you can't simply associate feelings with them like they are things that you can just arbitrarily give titles to. People are living things, with their own thoughts and emotions. And if you want to develop your empathy skills, you just need to start being able to understand their perspectives. Don't make assumptions about people based on your judgment. Take some time to actually figure out what their perspective means. Not just what it means for you, but what it means to them. And keep in mind that their perspectives might not have anything at all to do with you. And that is totally okay. It isn't an easy thing to do. But it isn't exactly complicated either. Just treat people like people. No way to sugarcoat it. You lack experience. What happens along the journey of meeting people and letting them in and hurting you is that eventually your ego develops. Your self-value begins to develop. You start to be more critical of the people you let in. As men, we don't rely on each other, and so we don't ever get that pointed out. Women confide in each other and develop psychologically faster. So my advice is get out there and meet more people. Find out through experiences what personalities match well with yours. Take off those green-tinted glasses and see the Emerald City for what it is. There is an entire world of colors unseen in the Land of Oz. Recognition is half the battle, my guy. I know I'm a stranger to you, but I'm proud of you for self-reflecting and having the wherewithal and the humility to be honest with yourself on this. Now comes the hard part though. Breaking those thought and behavior patterns. I highly suggest you find yourself a therapist if you can swing it or can get coverage for it. And don't be afraid to drop a therapist if you decide ya don't vibe with them. Therapy is built on the patient-provider relationship and is meant to be led by you. The therapist is your support. Seriously though, self-reflection is hard as hell. It's something everyone struggles with. Be proud that you've made it to this realization and keep going. Good luck, dude. Remember the human. It may sound obvious, but I think there's a cultural bend towards men disregarding women's desires. I'm not even talking about rape culture, which certainly exists. But even in innocent rom-coms, it's a common trope that the male pursues the female to lengths bordering on harassment. That doesn't work in real life. Nor should it. I don't even think it's a bias restricted to gender or courtship. We're limited to our own perspective, so it can be easy to disregard the perspectives of others. Always remind yourself that she has her own thoughts, emotions, and desires. And those desires may not include you. If they do, I promise it tastes all the sweeter. I strongly recommend browsing the Dr. Nerdlove archives. There's at least one person a week who seems to write in for help with this particular issue. For what is worth, in my late teens I had thoughts and ideas that were very pro to nice guy, and I easily see how I could have gone down that path if I hadn't gained some confidence in myself. I often find Dr. Nerdlove's diagnostics to be pretty accurate, and his advice something that would have saved me a lot of anxiety and some errors in the whole trial and error approach to figuring out relationships. By changing yourself to actually be nice. Not to women, to everyone. You see another struggling, be the first to help. Treat those less fortunate than you with respect, as equals. If you do this, you will also find women who are like-minded and drive away those that have nothing in their hearts. But the moment you do something with expectation of return, you are lost. Will this help you drown in women? No. But drowning in women is nowhere near as fulfilling as just being a person of truly good character. To those who take your kindness for stupidity, silently withdraw your help and attention from them. For every person like that, there are 10 more in genuine need. And stay away from flashy people. When you get into the habit of helping people with no return other than prayers or kind words from time to time, and get into the habit of simply ignoring those that abuse it, you'll naturally not see it as a favor. And you'll see that these girls you pursue do not need your help. She's most likely well off and has many people trying to do the same. It's selfish to waste your time and energy trying to be nice when there are many others who need your help and whose lives you can change. You being nice to a woman is not some selfless act. It is for yourself, and that's okay, but you need to acknowledge it as such. I used to be a nice guy. Me personally. I used to feel entitled to a relationship. mostly due to my previously held Christian beliefs that God had a perfect partner planned for me. But when I went atheist, that was no longer true for me. I had to remind myself that no one owes me anything whenever I felt cheated. I wasn't going to get romance by doing the right things or saying the right things, like inserting a quarter into a vending machine and getting a snack out. And kindness is a gift given freely, expecting nothing in return. Otherwise it is not kindness but manipulation. These old thought patterns were not a reflection of reality, and I held a lot of unnecessary frustration because of it. I had to retrain myself to see women as potential friends instead of potential partners. After all, the plan was I was going to be dating one woman, and the other 3+ billion I wouldn't. This honestly was a big turning point for me and really helped me undo the years of unhealthy expectations and helped me view and treat women like people. Lastly, it is perfectly normal, even for us men, to not have all the answers. It is perfectly normal for us to admit we don't have all the answers. That's part of life's journey and adventure. You will make mistakes. I certainly made plenty myself, especially in the dating realm. But that's how we learn and grow. Always keep growing and learning and admitting how little we know. And you will find out you are far more resilient and capable than you ever imagined. I don't consider this nice guy behavior. It's annoying. Women, I know this runs contrary to everything you think you know are people. You have to get to know them slowly. You cannot be all, "Oh, she didn't instantly like me. Screw her, I'm outta here." Nor can you be, "I'm going to keep on loving this girl no matter how long it takes for her to realize I'm the one." Quote.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.